You know, there's nothing sadder than watching something that started out phenomenal downgrade to become a shell of its former self. It happened to Game of Thrones, it's happening to Disney, and in turn, the MCU. With the release of its latest entry, one can only ask, when is it time to grow up? The MCU started as something grounded, a healthy balance of humor, storytelling, and maturity. But now the MCU is almost 70% humor and juvenility, which has gotten progressively worse. When the MCU started, a lot of us were kids, and what we expected was the MCU to grow and mature as we did. It's been a completely different and opposite case.
Well, you're right.
It's really a travesty to see what the MCU has become. It's become nothing but a continuous sludge fest of unbearably childish dialogue, sloppy CGI, and a surface level approach to storytelling. This juvenile approach is exhausting even as they try to tell more complex stories. We don't only see it in their approach to storytelling and dialogue, but even in their presentation of characters. For example, in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sam tries to solve an untenable situation, a truly complex situation, by telling the government to simply do better.
You've got to do better, Senator. You've got to step up.
Well, you're right.
Delivering a naive speech with no actual solution. Their portrayal of characters with no depth or respect undermines their end goal. On the other hand, this is to be expected as the MCU is run by Disney, who are just about as childish and boring, and with the seemingly endless supply of content that they plan to churn out in the coming years, one can only hope for the best but expect the worst. For me personally, there isn't a single MCU entry announced in their upcoming slates that I'm truly excited for. With the MCU's track record of Thor, Hulk, and other characters who have been completely butchered, there isn't really much to look forward to. A fan's dream is to see the characters that they love being brought to life as they like them, and at a point the MCU was doing that with good efficiency and success, but the MCU doesn't really do that for me anymore. In the past few years, most of the characters that I really love, I've not really enjoyed seeing them on the big screen, and the ones that I really care about, I don't even want to see them on the big screen. And it's just really sad because when I watched Moon Knight, I enjoyed it for what it was, but at the end of the day, I was asking myself, is this really the best story that they could tell with this character? Because he's really a complex character, a really interesting character, and I found out at the end of the show that this was just a waste of a good character, what they could really do with this character, and they didn't just take the opportunity. They made it as bland as possible. The writing, the presentation, and the overall story of these characters is really just awful. It presents no attraction to avid comic book readers. For me, I love Daredevil, one of my best characters ever, but there's no excitement even for Daredevil because knowing the MCU, they will probably turn him into a dancing monkey as well. The MCU's audience is the cherry on top of the sundae. They do not hold the MCU accountable for presenting terrible productions, except it hurts one of their increasingly dumb sensibilities. They just eat and swallow whatever is presented to them. So much so that the origins of Kamala and Namor were changed because Feige or one of his goons think that the audience can't differentiate between characters. The MCU is now tailored to a specific kind of audience stuck with Peter Pan syndrome. Their shows and movies are tailored to memes and shapes and social media and all that crap. It's funny how success reduces quality in entertainment these days instead of improving it. The audience continues to reward the MCU for doing the barest of minimums, and with the constant flood of content on the horizon, you can as well tell what's to come. It's time for the MCU to grow up and change the entire model, but this is all wishful thinking, and until then, we will continue to see increasingly vapid and second-rate products for the public to enjoy. Good luck. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you next time. Peace.